Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsay. I'm a knitter, crocheter, spinner coming to you from Central Arkansas. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am a virtual assistant. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Hello, everyone. It is episode 100. I have made it to triple digits, so yay to that. Today is Wednesday, October 29th at 1:40, and I am just dressed cozy. I had to run an early morning errand today, and it has messed me up. I've already taken a nap. I feel like I'm just now waking up for the day. I haven't even knit or crochet or nothing yet today, but I'm going to do that right after this podcast. So I am a week late, which last week, let's just say it was a very bad week for me. Nothing happened, just kind of like mentally bad energy week. So I decided to wait a week till I had some more positive vibes going. But here we are. If you are new here, welcome. I do a traditional podcast style. And I name every episode after a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music. And I always find that there is a theme that I can find with a song. So this week, the song title is Heavy by David Nail. I do have a Spotify playlist. I have it linked below that if you want to follow that, I have all of the titles of songs over there on my Always Yarn First playlist. I hope you stick around and find something you love. Let's get into the making. All right. First of all, one more announcement before we get into the making. November 1st, which is when the next day after this will go up. This will go up Friday. November 1st is Saturday. I am doing a 1 month make-along co-hosting with Kimber's Cozy Creations, Happy Little Yarn, and Jessalyn Janice. And if you've been around for a while, this is our year 3 of doing this in the fall. We are only doing 1 month this year, but I will be hosting it on Ravelry. Right now I have a chatter board open. As of November 1st, I will open an FO thread, and at the end of November, I will pick a winner from that. But you can also go on to Facebook. All of us are hosting on different areas, so make sure you just stripe something along with us. Whips are welcome. I'm also doing another make-along. Anna, from where I work, Arkansas Yarn Co., has challenged me to a make-off in November. Each week in November, we will be making a different small item. So starting November 1st, we're each casting on a hat. The first week is hats, so we have 1 week from cast on to bind off to make a hat. The second week is headband. Third week is cozies, and fourth week is dealer's choice. So I will also be participating in that. And the hashtag for that one is AYC Race to the Finish. All right, so now let's get into the making. I will have chapters and timestamps below. So this week I have new cast-ons. I have no finished objects. I have whips, and that's really it. Oh, a little bit of acquisitions, a very little bit of acquisitions. All right, so let's get into cast-ons. So the first new thing I've cast on, which you saw me purchase this from DFW Fiber Fest. I bought Mustache Yarns KPop Demon Hunters colorway. Here it is. So you see I have cranked it into a tube and I have done a toe on one end. So these are perfect match socks. They come in 2 50-gram cakes. This is the middle part right here. And what I'm thinking, because the first time I watched this with my daughter, and so I kind of want to make socks for both of us. I like shorty socks, but she works outside a lot in the cold, but she's a little thing. So I thought her making tall socks So I can easily, I think, I'm going to make me short. So I'm going to start by making me a shorty pair and see how much yarn I use. And then I'm thinking about making her taller socks. So I'm going to start with one shorty. So I will measure out next, figure out where my Afterthought heel is going to go. And then just do a little bit, like 10 rounds of ribbing from there. So, and then because they're must match socks, they match over here. So I think I'll do the same thing, cut this and start the toe here and do the same thing. That way they match. And then the rest will just have long socks for my daughter. And so she can wear them in boots to keep her warm. So I have cranked and made a toe. This is just from a scrap, but I do know it's not stress knits. I literally had it and it plopped right out of my head. The sisters who used to have a dye company and do a podcast, but then they were having all kinds of kids, and so they stopped. And I can't remember. If it comes to me when I edit, I will put the name in. But they do not dye any longer, and I just know that that is their yarn. So yeah, very excited about this. And again, this is from Mustache Yarns. Okay, I have one other new project. And again, kind of like mental heaviness lately. So I have no pattern here. I've been just working on this in the morning and with the pattern on my computer screen. I think I did mention this last time because I mentioned this when I got this yarn. Jessa, my coworker, is pregnant and she had found a cute little dinosaur vest pattern and messaged it to me, and she's like, "You don't have to make me any other thing if you'll make me this." And I'm like, done, no problem. So I have started the kids dinosaur vest by This is Olya. Now this pattern is on Etsy, not on Ravelry. So I have a link to her Etsy shop in my notes. But here is where I am. It doesn't look like much because it's just, a panel. So yeah, big old panel. I need to count. This is actually one full skein of the Rasta. I've literally stopped where I've run out of yarn. So I don't even have the other cake here, but because it is thicker yarn and a bigger crochet hook, this works out perfect because in the morning when I'm waking up, I have my coffee, I'm watching my podcast right here. I have it right next to me, and I'll do a few rows on it because otherwise it hurts my wrist. So I don't need the project to take anywhere with me. I'm just working on this a little by little every day. So I need to find my bag where I have the other project. This is Malabrigo Rasta, and again, I don't know the colorway. I did get this from the shop though, Arkansas Yarn Co. And I'm wondering, I need to continue reading the pattern because I'm wondering, I only got 3 skeins of this, and this is 1. So I feel like I'm going to need more. Yeah. But it's beautiful. It's going to look really, really pretty. Jessa picked out the colorway she wanted. So that is my other new cast on. So let's get into whips that you have seen before. All right, here is this very plain, boring thing you've seen a million times. And the reason we're going to talk about it is because I am actually going to bring up my Ravelry page for it while I'm talking about it. Okay, my friend Tori, she makes this a lot. She was my inspiration behind making this. She makes this a lot for baby blankets. This is the Half and Half Triangles Wrap by Purl Soho. It is a free pattern. And Tori, she would come in, get yarn, make another baby blanket. And I'm like, okay, what is the big deal with this? And it uses coastal cotton. So it's relatively very easy on the wallet to make a baby blanket with this. She uses the Coastal Cotton Fine, and she had told me, okay, get 2 of each color, so 4 balls total. And I know she told me the cast on, but I do not have it in my notes. So I need to go back in there. So each skein is, let's see, it says I have 200 grams, 700 yards for each color. So I started with the navy right here. And because I'm not spoiling anything, it's a free pattern, it's just short rows. It's hard to look at, but that's how you're making the big old triangle. Okay, y'all, this is not going to be a baby blanket because this thing's going to be huge. I don't know what I did. I swear I cast on the number of stitches Tori told me to, but you can see like this is the bottom, and you're making these short rows 1 by 1 by 1. All right, so here's my edge I need to get to. Here's my short row. And I have, am I connected to this one? Yes. I've already used my 2 of the navy. So this was a third one I had to buy, and I was getting close. I'm like, Tori, are you sure it's only 2? Because I still have I feel like it was 80 stitches left to my short row. She's like, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm like, okay. So I had to buy another skein. So this is my third one. So then that means I'm going to need to get 3 of these. So this is my second color, and this is Ocean Mist, again in the fine, and it's color Bells Beach. And so this is really easy knitting. I mean, you basically go to the stitch marker, turn, create your new German short row, go back and forth and back and forth. No problem. You can do it without looking, but my gauge must be way off because I still have not reached a halfway point. And you can see this is big. I mean, I can use it for a regular blanket at this point if I'm going to need 3 more of these things. So I'm not mad at it. Like I said, it's still, easy on the wallet with this yarn, but I'm just like, okay, I don't even know what happened. So I'll show you. I haven't shown this one for a while, so my stitch marker is way down here. So you can see I worked on it quite a bit, which is awesome. I'm going to move that now before I forget, because I actually haven't touched it in a while. I just haven't shown it. I haven't shown it every podcast because it's like, okay, it looks identical except longer. So I'll move that little guy up. Yes, still enjoying it. I really love the texture on it. So again, even if my gauge or whatever is off, I really like it. This is actually a nice blanket. Could be even in the summer when maybe your air is blasting a little bit, because it's lightweight. It's very nice. You can see my clothes right through it. It's very lovely. I am knitting it on a US 6 4mm, and that's what Tori had told me to use. So don't know what happened, but I just wanted to mention that for me, I did not use just 2 skeins of the one color, which is okay. All right, moving right along. Another reason I didn't podcast last week is because I have been working during the month of October, almost solely been working on the Stephen West MKAL. So last week, I feel like I'm like, okay, I've worked on the MKAL. But then I've been kind of shuffling around again, which we'll talk about. I'm going to show the MKAL last. All right, next thing I have put some progress into. Oh, I didn't say this bag is String Crazy. She is on Etsy. This bag is from Kelly E. McD. She doesn't have a store. She just posts on her Instagram account. All right, this is my textured shale. This is another free pattern. This is from my friend Christine, who is Treasure Goddess. And I had started this when I had done a beginner lace class. And again, I've made quite a bit of progress from there to here. So I have always said that I wasn't a fast knitter. I, see people like Jessa just seemingly speed through things. Andrea from the shop just speed through things. And I'm like, I'm not a fast knitter. And I've realized in the last couple months when I worked on that test knit for Tristan, which I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get done in time. And I had no problem getting done in time for that cardigan. And then the Stephen West, the first 2 weeks, I was completely caught up with clue 1 and 2. The third week, I would have been if I had not made a mistake. So I'm like, okay, I'm not a slow knitter. It's just that I have a short attention span with my projects. That is the actual problem. When I'm focused on just 1 or 2 things, I actually can get things done. So I'm kind of at a place where I want to get things done. I have never been stressed out about the amount of whips I have. Behind me is my bookshelf of all my whip bags. I think the only one that isn't here is my Wave to the Fans, which is out in the living room blanket. But one, this is like so full, like I'm squishing things in. And I still want those things. And I think I'm at a place, at least right now, you know how we always change our mind, at a place right now where I want to finish some things. So the projects I'm showing today, besides the MKAL, I'm like, all right, let's get going on this. Let's really put some work into it. So I'm trying to pick a few projects to put some time and energy in to get these off my needles. The half and half triangles, maybe not so much. That one usually does stay on my sofa as my easy knitting. If I'm watching a K-drama where I have to read subtitles. I do have a couple movies coming up. I'm going to go to the theater, so that will be the project I bring for that. But this one is one of the projects I'm like, okay, this is an easy project. Let's get this done. And it's lovely. I don't even need to look at the pattern. Again, it's a free pattern, so I'm not spoiling anything. There is 2 versions to this pattern. There is a version, so each version has a 4-row repeat. The version I am doing is the textured shale. It's purl free. And so rows 1 through 3 you knit across, and then row 4 you do like the little lace pattern. So you can see up close here. Basically that lace pattern is just on the 4th row. Otherwise you're knitting the other 3 rows. So very easy to memorize. She does have in the original old shale pattern, which, let's see, row 1 and 4 you knit, row 2 you purl, and row 3 is the lace pattern if you want the traditional, where it's like stockinette side. Which again, you still would only purl 1 out of the 4 rows. I'm just doing the textured. I don't have to think about it. I know the pattern, so I can very easily pick this up and just go to town. And the days where the MKAL was my problem child and got in timeout for a couple days, this was the project I was picking up. That's why I got so much work done on this. I am using Emma's yarn. This was Deep Stash. Let's see, Emma's yarn, Practically Perfect Sock in the colorway Saltwater Taffy. It's beautiful. It's high twist like I love. And again, this is very forgiving. I know the stitch count, and you know that every 4th row when you do the lace, if your stitches are wrong, because the pattern won't end up. I had one where I all of a sudden had 4 extra stitches somehow. Like, I'm wondering if I did yarn overs and not knit 2 togethers at some point. So I just remedied that and it was fine. yeah, so I'm enjoying this. I'm hoping to work on this enough to get this off my needles. And now that we're actually in chilly season for us, at least, it's a high today. Right now it's 52, and I think that's the high for the day, which is great. I'm loving it. Obviously, I'm in my giant Yitty sweatshirt. All right, one more whip before we get to the MKAL. This is in a By the Lakeside bag. And we're going to talk about the MKAL a little bit because I believe I talked about last time is that in the MKAL there are welts. And this project is my longest project on the needles. It's the Batad. It is by Stephen West, and when I was doing this, I could not figure out the welts. I hated them, so it has just sat here. But again, even though I started in 2018, I still want it. I still like the colors. I love orange. So here is where we're at. So this is just a nice big cowl, basically short rows and welts. That's it. So the short part will be in the back here, and then the long part will be in the front. And if you can see, I am literally in the middle of a welt. So here on this side, I have the welt, and I'm right here where I'm still working on the welt. I thought that while I had momentum for doing welts from the current MKAL, I'm like, all right, I need to get the Batad out while it's fresh in my mind. Like, I did many little welts for this project, so I need to get out this one, and that's what I've done. So I just want to get it off my needles because I'm like, the welts are no big deal. I still don't love them, but I mean, I think they look cool. I just don't love doing them when you're grabbing a stitch like 8 rows beneath you. I still get off track a little bit, but one thing doing the MKAL has taught me, like, okay, if it doesn't match up right, just pick this one right here. Like, I will say that. It's learning Stephen West through his videos is so helpful. It's helping me not to be a overly picky knitter. But yeah, these are both Hedgehog fibers. And I think this one is Guppy and this one is Monarch. I do love orange. Hopefully next time you see it, I will have made even more progress. I don't know why I have my progress stitch markers. So it looks like since the last time I've done it, well, this is the first welt I've done since the last time. So I had just finished the welt last time I showed it, and I've done a whole nother section. But happy with that. Hopefully this and the last projects, as far as old whips, will get some love very, very soon. Okay, so we're going to get into the 2025 Mystery MKAL, the MusiKAL by Stephen West. So if you don't want to see spoilers, this is my last whip. You can either skip to the acquisition section, or I will see you the next podcast. Let's get into this. All right, here's my bag. Got it from West Knits. And I put one of my little pins on it. It says, "Music heals my soul." Record player. Thought it was fitting for the MusiKAL. As of yesterday, I'm finally done with Clue 3. This is going to be hard to show. I do have it on longer needles, but still, I mean, if you've done a Stephen West shawl, you know it's just so many stitches. It's not going to look like a shawl as I hold it up. And I don't even know where my stitch stoppers are. So, The bottom part is clue 1. These waves were clue 2. Clue 3 was in 2 sections. So first it was, excuse me, these diamonds, and I really love this part. You only are working with like 13 stitches on your needles at a time. So I used DPNs and worked this up as you climbed up. I loved doing that. This was section 4 of clue 3. So I was going along good. It's kind of like a basket weave. It's a slip stitch. Going along good. Again, you're doing short rows. So obviously at first you're going all the way to over here, but then they get 3 stitches shorter every other row. I was about to maybe like my short row, the row I was working with to like here to here. And I realized I had done the wrong color. Yeah, that's exactly it, because it was like my gray color, which was my color B. This grayish, whitish with blue specks color. I had done navy again, and I'm like, nope, that's gonna bug me. So I need to backtrack. And I was just so mad because I was trying to finish up the night before Clue 4 was coming out. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be caught up all 3 weeks. I was so tired. I'm like, I'm just going to keep making mistakes at this point. Even though the short row was not very long, I'm like, I can't do it. So I went to bed, I put it aside and like didn't touch it for 2 days. Then I took different projects. Like I took my textured shale to work for a project. I'm like, I'm not even bringing this to work. I don't want to look at it. But I didn't want it to sit too long because I knew that would be bad. So I picked it up one night and I frogged back to what I needed to, fix the color. And then somehow in fixing that color, when I was trying to find what row I was on in the pattern, it wasn't matching up. So this still is not perfect, but as long as I was keeping the basket weave, like I had the pattern generally memorized, like how to do the basket weave and stuff. So I was like, as long as I keep the basket weave, I can live with it. But you'll see over here on this end, like there's this huge section of the grayish, and then there's a big old section. Instead of having this, my neon section come up, it doesn't on this side. But again, the colors are in the right order. And like starting over here, I have them going up in the right place. So I'm okay with it. This I can live with. The color being in the wrong place where it was like navy, bright blue, and navy again, I'm like, nope, that's gonna bother me. But the basket weave, I'm okay with it. So I just left it. I basically got until I had the right stitches on my needle. So the other thing I did wrong is I don't know if I marked the right place, because after you do your colors that you're alternating, this color, which is your color C, which is one that goes up that you slip stitch, for me is like that neon green. You're supposed to do 2 rows between doing the next 4 rows of the next color. Well, I was at the X number of stitches before I did those 2 rows of green. So I got there early. So I should have had my neon green do an extra 2 rows in the last part. But because I was at the exact stitches, I did not do that because it would have, went down again another 3 stitches. So I just stopped there and went ahead with the next part, which was to go all the way across with the green, which I did that, and now I'm on the next row, which is the blue. So basically I consolidated those short rows, cleaned up the gaps up until there, and then now we can see that there's, when we got to these others over the waves, we do a little lace stitching. So that's where I'm at. I'm just in. So that green where I did the lace stitching was the last part of clue 3. So now I have the navy on my needles again, and that is where I'm at. I have just got in to clue 4. I am loving it. It is crazy funky. I love it because I love the colors. Like all this together, it's, you know, I love each part of it separate, but would I normally pick this out to make? No, absolutely not. But I love the colors, and honestly, I loved knitting each part. I love knitting each part. I love, I didn't even really use the videos so much. The most time I used the videos was clue 1 when I was starting these scallops. I wanted to make sure that I was starting it in the exact right spot. But otherwise, I didn't really use the videos much, just starting out. But I love that he's like, okay, you should have so many stitches left. You don't have so many stitches left? Okay, just knit 2 together. Add a stitch, whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no one is going to look that carefully. And so there is all kinds of times where I'm like, all right, so I'm knitting 2 together, I'm knitting 3 together, and all that. And I am totally fine with it. I love the colors. This is all Twisted Ambition. Show you my colors. So my color A was this. I am attached to this one. Let me see if I have it. I think, so my colors are Blizzard, Corridor, Scrubs, Season of Love. So I think that, is this one Blizzard? Yeah. So Blizzard, Corridor, Scrubs, and Seasons of Love. All in his sweet sock base. But now I'm on track, and at the end, you have, again, the option to do a brioche border or a garter border. And I am doing the garter. Do I know how to brioche? Yes. Could I? Yes. But I enjoyed this make-along so much, the first 3 clues, and keeping up with it. It is a lot of stitches on the needles. I'm ready for this to be off my needles. And the other nice thing about each one of, there's like, I think maybe 3 sections, whether you choose brioche or garter. And at each of those ending sections, it says, okay, if you want, you can go ahead and do the bind off now. So you don't have to do all 3 sections. Like if you like it right now, go ahead and bind off. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, some people might say I'm kind of chinsing out of it at this point, but I'm happy with the work I did on it, and I still completed it, or I'm still going to complete it. So I'm just ready for it to be off my needles. This is a big project, and with my little make-alongs with Anna next week and my goal of getting things off my needles, I would like this big shawl off my needles. But I enjoyed every second of it, and I definitely suggest you to do a Stephen West make-along. Just pick colors that you're really going to love. If you're into brights, cool. If you're like, I'm a little afraid of pattern, then go neutral. But definitely do it. In fact, after it, or I guess what was still going on, he had a birthday sale for like 37% off his patterns on his website. So this motivated me so much that I went online and I was kind of hunting through his patterns for a while. So I think I got 6 shawl patterns that I would love to do with, because I have lots of one skeins of yarn. So I'm like, man, if I could just go through and pick out some combos at a later time, I think that'd be really fun to use up some single skeins of yarn in my stash. So that's what I plan on doing. All right. That is all my whips. I will get into acquisitions. Briefly, I did do spinning. In fact, Sunday I spun many hours. I am still working on my Desert Panda, but I'm almost done with that braid. So once I finish that braid, I will show it, and then I'll work on the coordinating braid I got to go with it to ply them together. So I'm not going to show that this week. All right, let's get into my very brief acquisitions. I, of course, got my fiber clubs. So the first one is Knitty McPurley. This is the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. This will finish in December, so I will have all 12 months and then it will be done. This is going through the sock project book, so she makes up yarn specifically to go with a project and then makes a matching project keeper to go with the pattern, which is the coolest part. And then I got my Gritty Knits, which is my all year advent. Again, I have gotten this since the very beginning. We're on colors 53 and 54. We're back into the bright pinks. Love it. I really need to pick up my Anna Zadora, which is what I'm using this project for. I haven't picked it up in months, so that may be a goal for next month to see where I'm at with that when I add all the colors. All right, I bought one purchase from Arkansas Yarn Co. Well, two purchases, but both from the shop. We are now carrying unicorn fiber in the store. It has a wash, it has, let's see, we have a wash, a rinse. We have a third project, and I can't remember. And then Lori got a few of these. This is called Silk Milk. And this says it's great for blocking, spinning, or combing. So I'm thinking of this specifically with spinning. So when you're trying to kind of calm your fiber down a little bit while you're spinning it. I have not tried this yet. It's been in my bag here. So now I'm going to put it by my spinner so that if I have a little bit of crazy bit, I'm going to try this. So maybe I can report back on how this works. And then I already mentioned how Anna and I are doing a challenge for the whole month of November. And so I picked out, we had Malabrigo Day last Saturday, and we had gotten a box called the Fiesta box in the store where they gave us little bits of all kinds of their yarn and fiber to play with and the customers to play with. And then we got some yarn that we don't normally carry, and they are for sale. But if you like this yarn, you need to go into the store, or if you're not local, then call the shop. But we have a few bases that we don't normally carry, but they're not in the system, so that we just would ring them up if you're in the store. But this is their brand new base. This is called Vientos base. This is a bulky weight, approximately 130 yards, 100 grams, 100% superwash merino wool. It feels so lovely, so squishy. And this is in the colorway Azul Profundo, which is one of the normal colors. And I wanted to try this new base of theirs, so I nabbed one of these skeins and I specifically looked up a pattern that I'm going to use for it, and I instantly forgot what it is. Hold on, I can look. It's the top of my queue. Slip and Purl Hat by Jackie Henderson. So this is for a bulky weight hat, and I'm hoping to make this. And that's what I've gotten. Although I have a super exciting purchase on the way to me, I should receive Friday. If you are a spinner and if you've heard of the Spanish Peacock, they make handmade, beautiful spindles, and they're coveted. Like, everyone wants one. They're just gorgeous, but they small batch, they make them there. And usually when they go live, they're sold out immediately. It's so hard to get one of those, but they have a Discord where they have different lotteries where you can enter to win, and it's not winning a spindle, you still have to purchase it, but you enter to get a chance where they pick 10 people, and they have two different lotteries. One is if you have never bought a Spanish peacock, then it's called a fledgling, and you get a chance to buy your first one. And they pick 10 people at random. You enter the lottery on Discord, they choose 10 people, and then they have their website, and you can see what's upcoming. So you see what's going to come up when they activate the website. You see what's available, and then they shut it down, and only those 10 people get a password for 1 hour. Only those 10 people are allowed to shop. You can only buy one spindle because, again, they don't have a lot at any given time. You can buy one spindle, but just with 9 other people in there. And so I can't believe it. I finally won the lottery on that. So I purchased a spindle, and it is so, so pretty. And I'm way excited for it. And that is going to come Friday. So that will be on the next podcast. I will definitely show that. Hopefully, I will start spinning with it to play with it when I show it. But I'm so excited to get a chance to see that. And, the one I got, my friend Karen, who's a spinner, comes every weekend to the shop. She's like, oh, make sure you pick out a second one in case you get cart jacked. And when I looked through the website, I'm like, no, I want this one. I want this one. So I went in, made sure I entered my name, so I had all my information correct, made a profile, and I was I think of it when I was younger trying to buy concert tickets, refresh, 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 go. I was already on the page with the correct spindle. I hit add to cart, checkout. I was done probably in 2 minutes total. And I'm like, I got it. I got the one I wanted. And once I went back in there, I could see it said sold out. So it was just one of those. I can't wait to show it to you. I'm very, very excited. I also ordered from them a spindle storage system because now I have enough spindles. I have them in a decorative jar, but this one means you can stand them up, which is, I guess, better for your spindles to stay that way. So I'm excited about that too. I will have a place to actually put my spindles standing nice, and I can actually see them all and see what's on them. So that will be coming soon. All right, I think that's it. One other small note, November 7th and 8th, Lori and I will be going to the NWA Northwest Arkansas Fiber Fest. We're going to be going up there together. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the Fiber Fest on Friday, but we will be there all day Saturday. So make sure that if you see us and you recognize myself, and of course you'll recognize Lori, but stop, say hi. I'll have stickers with me, and that should be really fun. So I love the Fayetteville area, and it's been a while since I've gone up there. And our friend Sarah, who is the sexy knitter, will also be up there, so we're looking forward to hanging out with her. But that is it, and I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.